It's Fun Friday. Get ready for an amazing weekend. Woohoo! Welcome to the Morning Moxie Show. I am your host, Alicia Sharp, and today is Fun Friday. And we have Ken Davis with us, and he has been on the show, I think, one other time, a long time ago. And today he's talking about his trip to the doctor with his sinus infection. And he's also talking about how he stepped into the elevator and didn't realize that there was another door on the other side. Here's Ken.
I woke up one day, I had a sinus infection right here. I didn't know it was a sinus infection. It looked like a golf ball. I had a golf ball. Right here. It was horrible. Big swelling right here, like a half a golf ball. Pain so intense, couldn't open that eye. Tears shooting out this eye. Tears just shooting out that eye. And so I figure, there's something very wrong. And it was very bad. The pain was so intense, I knew I had to get to a doctor. Now, if my wife had been there, I'd just whined and she'd have took me. Taken me. She'd have got me there. But she wasn't there. So I had to drive myself. 15 miles. This eye, frozen shut. This eye, tears shooting out of this eye. 15 miles to the doctor. Went into the waiting room. It's crowded just like this place. I mean, this is sold out. It's crowded in the waiting room. You ever go to the doctor? You don't see the doctor for sometimes week and a half. You just sit there with people giving you germs. Sneezing on you, walking past you. So I'm sitting in there, and I sat there for just a second, and I went, I can't do this. The pain is too intense. So I went up to the thing, and I said, I'm in severe pain, and it has affected my brain to the point where I believe I may hurt some of these people. So if you could let me see the doctor. And evidently, she saw that I was in pain because she admitted me right away to bat, and she saw the golf ball. It helps. If you want to get in, helps to have a huge lump right here. And so I went into the doctor. He looked at me and he said, I have never seen in all of my practice such a major sinus infection in my entire life. I have never seen anything like this. He said, I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you a shot of I'm going to give you a shot of disinfectant. And then I am going to give you a antibiotic. It's the same thing. Hey, nurse, bring that Lysol. He said, I'm going to give you a big shot of antibiotic. And then he said, I'm going to give you a powerful painkiller. You cannot drive home. Now, when he said that, I thought he was giving me his opinion. Whatever he gave me as a painkiller, and to this day I do not remember what it was, but it was good. In fact, by the time I left his office, I could open my eye. I had no pain in that eye. There was no pain in that eye. There were no tears shooting out of this eye. As I walked to the waiting room, I waved to all of the people who were in the waiting room. I got in my car with one singular purpose, to drive home and get home as fast as I could so that the golf ball would go down and I would not have to have the needle go up behind my eye. I almost made it home. Just a few miles from my house, I looked into the rearview mirror and I saw flashing lights. Very nice policeman pulled me over and he came up to the car and I rolled down the window. He said, have you been drinking any Lysol? No. He said, may I see your driver's license and your registration? And then, when he looked at my driver's license and my registration, then he said, Mr. Davis, do you have any idea how fast you were going? Now, I need to confess to you, at this point, not only was I not feeling pain, I was way over on the pleasure side of things. So I felt the need to tell him the whole story. This is absolutely true. It's how we got the title for this, Under the Influence. I said, this morning, officer, I woke up and I had a golf ball right here, a big golf ball on my head, and then I went to the doctor. I drove myself to the doctor 15 miles. I could not open this eye and I couldn't see out of this eye, but I made it, and then I got there, and I threatened to kill all the people in the waiting room. And then I'm explaining this whole thing, and I look up, and it's the only time in my entire life I have ever received a ticket, and I've received a few. The man was smiling. He had this little smile on his face. And I said, is there a problem? He said, you were doing 7 miles an hour. I'm telling you, it seemed like a lot faster than that to me. I'm an idiot. I speak for corporations all across the country. I was speaking for a very large company. They had paid me a large fee. I thought I had to give a large speech. Couldn't make any mistakes. Suddenly realized I forgot my notes. It was a true story. All of these stories are true. Some have been changed slightly just to protect people who are very guilty. I realized I forgot my notes. So I'm going to go back up to my room to get my notes. You know how when you get on an elevator, you turn around right away? I turn around, I press the button. The elevator goes up to my floor and stops on my floor. But instead of the door opening, the elevator makes a sound like the door is opening. You know that little sound? And it makes that little convulsive movement like the door is opening. But it doesn't open. There's a little button on the side called the open door button. It has 2 little arrows that point outward. I press that button very hard. Every time I touched that button, the doors would make that little convulsion movement like it wanted to open. It would make the little sound like it was going to open, but it did not open. I'm not okay. I kicked the door. I didn't mean to hurt the door. I kicked the door. I just wanted to jar it loose so that I could get to my meeting. When I kicked the door, my finger came off the button. The elevator continued up to the 14th floor, stopped on the 14th floor. When it stopped there, it made a sound like it was going to open. It felt like it was going to open, but it did not open. The bad word came back again. I lost it, friends. I just lost it. I just screamed, somebody call a front desk! I'm kicking the door, pushing on the button. I said, the elevator's stuck! I pounded on the door. Somebody call that stupid elevator stuck! A voice behind me said, no, it ain't. Now, I got on the elevator alone. I want to share something with you. If you get on the elevator alone and a voice speaks to you, every hair on your body will stand at attention. I spun around, to protect myself, only to discover, true story, this was an elevator with doors on both sides. There were 7 people waiting to get on.
That was Ken Davis, and you can find those clips on YouTube if you search under Ken Davis, an elevator ride, and Ken Davis, a sinus infection. Well, that is all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you again on Monday. God bless.